We have Trellance's very own Patrick McElhenie. Patrick, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing great. Better now that you're here.
Thank you.
How's the conference going so far? I think we're third, fourth day. I lose track of time at these things, but a lot of good content here. How are you faring, sir?
Well, this is my first time here. I have to admit.
Wow.
So I'm a rookie.
No worries.
This is fantastic.
Yeah.
In a way, for me, it's humbling to think of, you really think about all the people that are in the armed forces, that are the servicemen and women that are out there protecting us.
Yep.
That's great. And then all of these leaders here that are trying to provide the best financial services possible to help those folks. Mm-hmm. I think it's fabulous.
Yep.
The content's been great.
Agreed. Yeah, last year was my first year coming here.
Okay.
And I've always wanted to get here, but the stars finally aligned last year, and I am so glad I came. This is definitely on my list every year now because I find it, and a lot of people I've spoken with, it's very inspiring. Very. Seeing what credit unions are doing for the men and women who serve our country and protect us and stuff. It's just such a cool thing how credit unions, or especially this group of credit unions, really step up and just do some amazing things for folks
Absolutely.
out there. Yeah.
And when you hear speakers this morning, such as the Thriving in Chaos,
oh my gosh,
gentleman,
yes, Alex.
Oh my gosh, that was fantastic. And then you really realize these people are putting their lives at stake
completely
to do things for us.
Yes.
And our country.
Yep.
And that was, it's humbling, but it makes you appreciate everything that they do.
No doubt. Yeah, that was definitely, Alex was actually, Hellbath is his last name, I believe. He was on the last flight out of the Afghanistan evacuation, and he was kind of like the air command guy that kind of coordinated everything. And just a great story.
When he said that there was a suicide bomber on the plane and they had to actually deplane everybody, and he's like, this person could be 10 feet away from me.
Yeah. Yeah, you just don't know.
You have to highly respect that.
No doubt. So yeah, great story there. Let's talk about Trellance and how credit unions can achieve cost savings next year with technology. How's that for a segue?
I think that's awesome. That's great.
Between Alex and you guys. So share with me. Give me a quick overview here.
Yeah, absolutely. So number one, as you know, we're a cooperative and we only serve credit unions, and we know that this time of year, credit unions are going into what? Planning cycle.
Yes, they are. It's that time of the year.
Their boards are getting together. They're thinking about what's coming next year. And although the economy seems to be somewhat strong, we know that many consumers are still kind of struggling with the high interest rates. And really that manifests itself down to credit unions. And you've heard, because you've talked to so many credit unions, they're struggling, everything's being squeezed, margins are squeezed, rates are still a little high. And so how can we at Trellance ensure that credit unions are using data and they're using cloud technologies and they're using talent, staffing to truly save money and be more efficient and more effective as they think about not just 2025 and 2026. So we work with credit unions, and it's interesting, and I know you've seen this and you've heard this probably, but as we visit credit unions, there's things such as reporting. Reporting is a little important for credit unions. But the amount of manual reporting that some of our credit unions still do is crazy.
No doubt.
And although we know there's an upfront cost sometimes for technology to implement in technology, the long-term impact and efficiencies gained for things such as simple as automated reporting, those types of things, really can save money because now you can take a body, you can take a person, and actually deploy them into something that is much more impactful, much more value added. And so at times helping the credit union see, the ROI long term is really good from a technology perspective, especially when it comes to data, because that data is so important for them to run their business, make their decisions, even when it comes to marketing, for example. And you've heard many times in these interviews, personalization. That's the thing.
Big buzzword right now, last year or so, for sure.
Absolutely. But that's what data can do. And that's what, credit union that has a data warehouse that's really putting all these data elements together can truly personalize some of these marketing activities. So, for example, I may have used this once before, so forgive me if I've already used this one.
No worries.
So my daughter was a member of a credit union, and she was constantly receiving these flyers in the mail. About this home equity line of credit. They were doing a big campaign on home equity loans for so long, and all they had to do was say in her address, apartment 1B. It's great I'm getting this mailing, but I rent. Well, that credit union was wasting money on that spray and pray type activity. So when you have a data warehouse, you can really start doing things that will provide personalization,
Yep.
but just be more efficient in some of those activities, thus saving money.
So yeah, and on that point, I learned a saying a couple of years ago: "Show me, you know me."
Absolutely.
And CreditUnions have the data; they have the information to really personalize and show their members that they know them.
Yes.
Unlike your daughter, who was renting at the time. Hey, here's a home equity. Oops.
Yeah.
So that was it's a kind of a boo-boo. But I think we're at the point now to where CreditUnions, a lot of CreditUnions are already doing this.
They are.
And they're doing it wonderfully. So they have that information to really
Right.
personalize, almost get down to the individual now. So
Absolutely.
it's pretty cool.
And that actually becomes more efficient and more effective, and then they do save money by taking that approach.
Yeah, so much more efficient, and effective. All those buzzwords.
And oh, by the way, she also worked at the same credit union.
Oh my gosh. Oh
Maybe I shouldn't
goodness.
say that.
She can just go, marketing department, I got this flyer in the mail, and let's update some stuff here. All right. So how is data key for credit unions to run efficient marketing programs? I think we kind of addressed that a little bit.
We did.
So how can cloud? Let's
absolutely.
venture into the cloud, Patrick. How can cloud provide
where's
cost
the
benefits?
cloud, Mike? Yeah.
There's a few of them out there. It was raining yesterday, so there's a few clouds out there.
So many credit unions are starting to migrate into the cloud, but we still have a lot of credit unions that still have some of this on-prem technology, right? So you have the racks, you have all the hardware. That takes time to maintain that hardware. It takes time for people to update the hardware. And the credit unions are actually taking on a pretty big risk from security standpoint when they still have these on-prem operations. And so by migrating to the cloud, number one, you're saving time, you're saving space, you're protecting yourselves because it's much more safer in the cloud than if you have those on-prem servers.
Oh yeah.
So then you have to invest a little bit of money up front to get into this, but the long-term savings aspect is phenomenal.
No doubt.
The flexibility that you get and the scalability that you get by moving to the cloud, it just makes a lot of sense. And so people are moving there.
Yeah. There's a big migration right now,
absolutely.
and it's way more secure. Because I remember 4 or 5 years ago, if that. I mean, cloud was kind of the big deal, and then all of a sudden it kind of went under the radar for a while. And now the last couple of years, it's really come back with a vengeance. And I think a big thing was the security aspect of it, and it's completely different in the security realm right now, right?
Well, as you know, those threat actors are getting smarter and smarter, but by putting your information into the cloud, I mean, it does fully make it much more secure. Because if you're an individual credit union, how much really can you truly invest in all of that security? Well, if you're scaling into the cloud, there's just so much more you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, in the long run, it's gonna be way more effective.
And
way
why
more
do you have to worry
cost-efficient.
about locations and servers and doing the updates yourself? So you're paying someone to do that. The cloud makes it much easier.
Cost benefits for sure, and many other benefits as well. So how should credit unions re-examine talent when cutting back on costs? That's a $64,000 question right there.
Absolutely. So number one, I think you have to look at, sometimes a credit union has this long list of projects that they're trying to get done, and they just can't get done. It's expensive to hire somebody. You think of the onboarding, the training, just the recruitment effort. But if you have certain aspects or certain things you want to get done, you can do fractional staff augmentation. Hire someone on a fractional basis, a part-time basis, put some work in to get these projects done that are maybe more technical in nature. They're going to help drive the credit union forward because this particular project may be revenue generating. So why put that on the back burner if you can go out and hire some talent, whether that's global talent, because if you do offshore, you're going to save a lot more money. Now, granted, that's a little bit of a different animal in terms of how you manage offshore resources. Right. But there's talented people globally, and the fact that you can save a lot of cost, you could then take a potential revenue-producing project, as I said, move that forward, and if it benefits the member, why not drive it forward? And you can do that on a fractional scale, or you can hire full-time people for a short period of time, like on a professional services aspect, to get these projects done. You don't have to hire, you don't have to onboard, but you can get this stuff done with highly technical people and move on. I mean, I think that's just so important, and I know some credit unions do a lot of that or do some of that, but I think there's a big opportunity for it, because if you have a project or you have something that's going to benefit your members, get it done. And you can do it with cost savings, and you don't have to go out and hire somebody.
And I couldn't agree more, because this almost makes it, because I've talked to other companies who do this as well, and credit unions as well, it's almost like you have a kind of a 24/7 clock because things are always moving. Because when
Absolutely.
you're hiring globally or something like that, you have folks on the other side of the planet who are working on stuff while we're sleeping, and then when we wake up and when they're sleeping, we're working on stuff.
Exactly.
So the production never really stops.
I agree.
So it's pretty cool.
It is.
I love that aspect of it. So so it makes
So-
things much more efficient as well.
So we're starting to talk to more and more credit unions about that, and we're really excited where this is going to go.
I think it's a great move for sure. So yeah, take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
And we're all so globally connected now, so
We are.
why not?
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, anything else on this topic, Patrick? The cost savings, especially as technology continues to progress. Any final thoughts before I let you get back?
I would just say that I think from our perspective, we're continuing to look at innovative ways for credit unions to help save money.
Yeah.
Even on the front end, typically like when you buy software, let's say or a data warehouse, for example, most vendors provide a implementation cost. We're looking at things where we can actually maybe reduce or actually take away that implementation cost. They don't have as much of the upfront cost, so they can get this technology installed and get it working for them, so they can have those efficiencies.
Yeah.
So we're listening to our members because our credit unions are our members.
Oh, yeah.
So we're cooperative just like them, and we're trying to do what's best for them, and we're pretty excited about the future.
And that's how you guys get better. It's by
Absolutely.
listening to your folks for sure. So yeah, good stuff. All right, Patrick. Well, thank you so much as always for your time and your insights. Appreciate the information here, and always look forward to the next chat.
And
Well
thank
done,
you
sir.
for everything you do.
Anytime,
Really
sir.
appreciate it. Love
Anytime.
seeing you.
Studio Lounge interviews brought to you by Defense Credit Union Council and Trellance.